The 1940s radiator hack that heated whole homes without electricity. There's a reason your grandparents never complained about freezing winters, even without modern heaters or electricity blasting through the walls. In the 1940s, a clever trick turned ordinary radiators into home heating beasts that could warm entire houses without a single watt of electricity. And today, we're peeling back the curtain on this forgotten hack. If you're craving survival wisdom with a historical twist, smash that subscribe button now. This is the kind of knowledge you don't want to scroll past. Most people think central heating is a 20th century miracle powered by boilers and electricity. But during the 1940s, ingenuity and necessity collided to create solutions that were cheap, sustainable, and shockingly effective. World War II wasn't just about battles on the front lines. It forced families to rethink survival at home. Fuel shortages, rationing, and blackout restrictions pushed ordinary people to innovate, and the radiator hack was one of the cleverest outcomes. The trick wasn't just turning up the heat, it was understanding heat itself, learning how to trap and redirect it, and manipulating ordinary materials in ways most of us overlook today. This wasn't some gimmick. This was real engineering with practical results that could keep an entire household toasty even on the coldest winter nights. The foundation of the system was surprisingly simple. It relied on the natural movement of hot water air circulation and a little physics that still works today. Radiators, as most of us know, are designed to spread heat through convection. But in the 1940s, households discovered that by slightly altering the flow of water and adding reflective surfaces behind the radiator, you could trap heat and send it further into living spaces. Think of it as giving your radiator a superpower, one that costs nothing to activate. The first step was often insulation, but not the fluffy, modern kind. People would use sheets of metal or even reflective foil, carefully placed behind radiators to bounce heat into the room instead of letting it disappear into cold walls. It sounds simple, almost too obvious, but in practice, it made a massive difference. Every degree of warmth counted when coal was rationed and wood had to last weeks on end. The placement of the radiator itself was also critical. Homes designed in that era often had radiators directly under windows, a location that seems counterintuitive today. But the rising heat from the radiator created a warm air barrier that stopped drafts, keeping the chill from spreading. Water circulation was another piece of the puzzle. Without electricity, households relied on gravity-fed systems or simple pumps that ran on boiler pressure. By adjusting the flow rate carefully, they could push hotter water through each radiator faster or slower depending on the room's size. The smaller the room, the faster it could heat up. The larger the space, the slower but consistent movement allowed warmth to linger. This wasn't guesswork. It was trial and error, perfected over decades in countless homes across Europe and North America. But the secret sauce, the thing most modern preppers and survivalists overlook, was heat storage. Families discovered that radiators themselves could become miniature heat batteries. Cast iron radiators were ideal because they absorbed heat and kept it long after the boiler had gone cold. Pair them with a well-insulated room, and you could leave the fire or boiler off for hours without noticing the chill creeping back in. It's the same principle modern thermal mass heating uses, but decades ahead of its time. This hack wasn't just about comfort, it was about survival. During wartime blackouts, people couldn't rely on electric heaters. Coal and wood were precious commodities, often rationed or difficult to obtain. The 1940s radiator hack allowed families to stretch every log, every lump of coal, and every pint of hot water to its maximum efficiency. In some cases, entire homes could remain warm enough to prevent frozen pipes, frostbite, or illness, using only a fraction of the fuel a naive household would burn today. What makes this particularly fascinating is how little we hear about it now. Modern heating systems prioritize speed over efficiency, convenience over ingenuity. Yet, A 1940s radiator setup could teach us lessons still relevant for prepping, off-grid living, or simply cutting down on energy bills. You can recreate much of this system today using affordable materials, reflective panels behind radiators, careful flow adjustments, and thermal mass techniques. These aren't just relics of the past. They are living, functional solutions that prove survival thinking isn't just about bug-out bags or canned food. It's about clever manipulation of the elements around you. By combining physics, resourcefulness, and a deep understanding of how houses lose heat, people in the 1940s didn't just survive, they thrived. They were masters of comfort in a time of scarcity, turning ordinary tools into extraordinary survival assets. And this is the kind of insight history's survival code brings straight to you, lessons from the past that make you smarter, safer, and more self-reliant today. So next time winter hits and your modern heater hums, remember, real survival wisdom often hides in plain sight. You don't always need electricity or a state-of-the-art system to stay warm. Sometimes a little ingenuity, a reflective sheet, and the right placement of a radiator can keep you cozy through the coldest nights, just like it did for families 70 years ago. If this kind of survival knowledge lights a fire under you, literally and figuratively, make sure to subscribe for more hidden historical hacks that beat modern prepping every time. And don't keep this to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to know that surviving the cold isn't just about equipment. It's about smarts, strategy, and a little bit of swagger.